One day, a genie appears and gives you a choice. Would you rather have £1 million today or 1 pence, which doubled every day for a month? The fact is, a lot of people get caught up in the initial amounts, i.e. the £1 million versus the 1 penny. However, hold on, before we continue, let's share the story of the 1 grain of rice, a mathematical folktale from India. Long ago in India, there lived a king who believed he was wise and fair, as a king should be. The people in his province were rice farmers. The king ordered that everyone must give nearly all of their rice to him. "I will store the rice safely," the king promised the people, "so that in time of famine everyone will have rice to eat, and no one will go hungry." Each year, the king's rice collectors gathered nearly all of the people's rice and carried it away to the royal storehouses. For many years, the rice grew well. The people gave nearly all of their rice to the king, and the storehouses were always full. But the people were left with only enough rice to get by. Then one year, the rice grew badly, and there was famine and hunger. The people had no rice to give to the king, and they had no rice to eat. The king's ministers implored him, "Your Highness, let us open the royal storehouses and give the rice to the people, as you promised." "No," cried the king. "How do I know how long the famine will last? I must have the rice for myself. Promise or no promise, a king must not go hungry." Time went on, and the people grew more and more hungry, but the king would not give out the rice. One day the king ordered a feast for himself and his court, as it seemed to him a king should now and then, even when there is famine. A servant led an elephant from a royal storehouse to the palace, carrying 2 full baskets of rice. A village girl saw that a trickle of rice was falling from one of the baskets. She jumped up quickly and walked along beside the elephant, catching the fallen rice in her skirt. She was clever, and she began to make a plan. At the palace, a guard cried, "Halt! Thief! Where are you going with that rice?" "I am not a thief," the girl replied. "This rice fell from one of the baskets, and I am now returning it back to the king." When the king heard about the girl's good deed, he asked his ministers to bring her before him. "I wish to reward you for returning what belongs to me," the king said to the girl. "Ask me for anything, and you shall have it." "Your Highness," said the girl, "I do not deserve any reward at all, but if you wish, you may give me 1 grain of rice." "Only 1 grain of rice?" exclaimed the king. "Surely you will allow me to reward you more plentifully, as a king should." "Very well," said the girl. "If it pleases your Highness, you may reward me in this way. Today you will give me 1 single grain of rice. Then each day for the next 30 days you will give me double the rice you gave me the day before. Thus tomorrow you will give me 2 grains of rice, the next day 4 grains, and so on for 30 days. "This seems to be a modest reward," said the king, "but you shall have it." And the girl was presented with a single grain of rice. The next day the girl was presented with 2 grains of rice, and the following day with 4 grains of rice. On the 9th day the girl was presented with 256 grains of rice. She had received in all 511 grains of rice, enough for only a small handful. "This girl is honest, but not very clever," thought the king. On the 12th day the girl received 2048 grains of rice, about 4 handfuls. On the 13th day, she received 4096 grains of rice, enough to fill a bowl. On the 16th day, the girl was presented with a bag containing 32,768 grains of rice. Altogether, she had enough rice for 2 bags. "This doubling up adds to more rice than I expected," thought the king. "But surely her reward won't amount to much more." On the 21st day, she received 1,048,576 grains of rice, enough to fill a basket. On the 24th day, the girl was presented with 8,388,608 grains of rice, enough to fill 8 baskets, which were carried to her by 8 royal deer. On the 27th day, 32 bulls were needed to deliver 64 baskets of rice. The king was deeply troubled. 1 grain of rice has grown very great indeed, he thought, but I shall fulfill the reward to the end, as a king should. On the 29th day, the girl was presented with the contents of 2 royal storehouses. On the 30th and final day, 256 elephants crossed the province, carrying the contents of the last 4 royal storehouses, 536,870,912 grains of rice. Altogether, the girl had received more than 1 billion grains of rice. The king now had no more rice to give. "And what will you do with this rice?" said the king with a sigh, "now that I have none?" "I shall give it to all the hungry people," said the girl, "and I shall leave a basket of rice for you too, if you promise from now on to only take as much rice as you need." "I promise," said the king. And for the rest of his days, the king was truly wise and fair, as a king should be. Now that you've read the fable, you can see that the choice is pretty clear. It's better to have a single penny that doubles every day for a month versus £1 million up front. This is because of the power of compound interest. Einstein once called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world, further stating that he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. So you see, if you took a single penny and doubled it every day, by day 30 you would have £5,368,709.12. However, it's important to note that it's all about the power of doubling. If you ask the same question but change the doubling time to just 27 days, you would only have just over £671,000. If you're curious to see what that looks like, here's a chart that shows the math of a penny doubling each day. This is the real power of compound interest. As you can see, the growth really starts accelerating around day 22. You don't even get past £100 until day 15. So what's the point I'm trying to convey to you viewers? The key takeaway from all this should be to start investing early and investing often. The biggest gains and returns always happen later in life. If you start investing in your portfolio today and earn a modest 5% return, that might not seem like a lot of money today, but in 30 years, earning a 5% return throughout your life, you'll start seeing huge returns later in life as you approach retirement. And remember, investing is a long-time endeavour. You shouldn't be looking to double your money in 3 to 5 years. You should be looking to grow your money over time. But hey, there is something you could do just now. You could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content. And as always, thanks for watching.